Hi, my name is Cheryl, and I'm going to talk to you about getting your animals spayed and or neutered. And I'm going to hopefully show you how important it is by the end of my presentation. So the increasing number of unwanted pets is more than shelters and rescues are able to accommodate, and therefore there is an increase in unnecessary deaths of animals. The senseless killing of kittens and dogs and puppies and cats is an alarming amount. Rescue animals and spay your pets, because then that will help alleviate the overpopulation in the shelters and on the streets. The increasing number of unwanted pets is more than shelters and rescues are able to accommodate, and therefore there is an increase in unnecessary deaths of these animals. According to the American Humane Society, 2.7 million healthy dogs and cats are euthanized each year. This is an alarming amount and could be prevented if we took some time to spay or neuter our pets. The procedure is performed on the pet as early as 8 weeks. Having it done this early is actually great, if at all possible, because it is done and they are most likely not going to be in heat if it's a female, or spraying if it's a male. This is the same for both cats and dogs. Not only do these procedures cut down on overpopulation, it can also have health benefits for your pet. Through neutering, you can help your dog or cat live a happier, healthier, longer life. Spaying eliminates the constant crying and nervous pacing of a female cat in heat. I'm sure you have all experienced that annoying habit. Spaying a female dog also eliminates the messiness associated with their heat cycle. Neutering of a male dog and cats can prevent certain undesirable sexual behaviors such as urine marking, male aggression, and the urge to roam. If you have more than one pet in your household, all the pets will generally get along better if they are neutered. A long-term benefit of spaying and neutering is improved health for both cats and dogs. Spaying females prior to their first heat cycle nearly eliminates the risk of breast cancer and totally prevents uterine infections and cancer. Neutering males prevents testicular cancer and enlargement of the prostate gland, and greatly reduces their risk for perianal tumors.
In just 6 years, an unspayed canine female, her mate, and all her puppies can produce 67,000 offspring. There will never be enough homes for all these animals. Each year, as many as 8 million cats and dogs enter shelters, and sadly, up to half are destroyed. Pets who are spayed or neutered live longer, healthier lives, and best of all, they don't add to the unwanted pet population. Please, have your pets spayed or neutered, and adopt your next best friend.
People always have a counterpoint to why they don't spay or neuter their pets, and I hopefully can persuade whoever has some apprehensions based on some statistical facts. The cost. Those opposed to the procedures say that the cost is too high. The cost to support a regular size litter of puppies or kittens can be more than $200 to $300. This is much more than the cost to spay or neuter. Surgery at a low-cost clinic is less than $150 per pet, and that includes the spay or neuter, medications, a rabies vaccination, and a collar if they don't have one for chewing.
Hi, I'm veterinarian Dr. Susan Kresbach, and I'm asking you to spay and neuter your pets. Our nation's animal shelters don't have the resources to save the overwhelming number of accidental litters, strays, and family pets brought to their doors every day. As a result, nearly half of the 8 million cats and dogs who enter shelters each year are put down. With your help, we can end this tragedy. Please spay or neuter your pets.
that want to breed their pets should think about that as well. The shelter population contains about 25% of purebred pets. Responsible breeders have a client prior to breeding their animals, so they know the pet will have a home prior to breeding. Purebred pets. My pet is a purebred pet. I want to have a litter of the puppies. Well, that's kind of a silly answer because, again, there's too many overpopulation of any of these, and like I mentioned before, 25% of the dogs or cats that are in a shelter are purebred pets. Those with registered pets that want to breed their pets should think before doing so. The shelter population contains about 25% of purebred animals. Responsible breeders have a client prior to breeding their animals, so they know the pet will have a home prior to breeding. So people that are responsible breeders don't just breed to multiply their dogs. They breed so that the responsible buyer could have a good pet. My dog, I just want it to have one litter. It is irresponsible to allow a pet to have just one litter for the sake of having babies. Even if you think you have people that want the babies, they may end up in the pound anyway for other reasons. The benefits of not allowing a female to reach sexual maturity is more healthy for the pet. My dog or cat will have an altered personality. They think to the worse. That's not true. People often think that having their pet altered would be a bad thing, but it's not. The pet will actually become more calm and not have to always be thinking about finding the next mate or trying to get out the door and causing you more problems. And then if the male gets out and then there's an unspayed female, then you have that problem. Between 6 and 7 million animals are dropped off annually in the United States. Of this amount, only about half of those will be adopted and the rest will be euthanized. One female dog and her offspring can produce 67,000 puppies in just over 6 years. This is according to PETA. Even more alarming, in just 7 years, a female cat can produce with her offspring 370,000 kittens. Really? That's crazy. These numbers are more than alarming. They are unacceptable. Only 1 dog in 10 will find a permanent home here at the shelter. Only 10% of the animals that enter a shelter have been spayed or neutered. So now you have the costs put on the Humane Society and these shelters to have these dogs spayed or neutered because you didn't want to do it. And now these cats and dogs are dying. Surgical procedure. That's another apprehension. People are afraid that the surgical procedure is bad for their pets. It's actually safe, and they use, obviously, like in an operating room for a human, they would use anesthesia, and they have a recovery in the hospital for about 6 hours. The pet will be back at home by the end of the day. The recovery time from anesthesia is usually 18 to 24 hours, and you will have a drowsy, uncoordinated animal, so you do need to keep an eye on them. But other than that, in 7 to 10 days from that surgery, they'll be up and running in no time. Sometimes you even have to kennel them because they're so back to normal so quickly. My conclusion would have to be stating back again, the increasing number of unwanted pets is more than shelters and rescues are able to accommodate, and therefore there is an increase in unnecessary deaths of animals. A simple procedure could potentially save thousands, if not millions, of animals each year. When looking for a new pet, may I recommend adoption through a rescue or a shelter like the Larimer County shelter where I'm at right now, and making sure that the new pet is properly spayed or neutered. This will cut down on the animal deaths across the United States in huge amounts. And today I went in to the shelter, and they do have free cat adoption for the month of July for any cat that's over 1 year old. And in there are some 11-year-old and 9-year-old cats that would make a great pet. Unfortunately, their owners couldn't take care of them, and here they are at the pound. Also, their dog area is completely full with all sorts of size dogs, all breeds. So if you even want a purebred dog, there's a border collie here. Obviously, someone couldn't take care of it. It was, back to what I had said before, it was brought back here because the owner couldn't take care of it. So please have your pets spayed and or neutered and cut down on the overpopulation and unnecessary deaths of these poor little animals. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Jane Lynch, and the good folks at PETA asked me to say a few words about the importance of good posture and personal hygiene. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the 4 million cats and dogs who are euthanized every year because there aren't enough homes for all of them. Now that number would be a lot lower if everyone would have their animals spayed and neutered. So let's all do that, okay? Spay and neuter your cats and dogs. Thanks. Oh, and it probably wouldn't kill you to stand up straight and slap on a little deodorant. Mwah.
Those with registered pets